Hurricane season 2021 is upon us. Good afternoon, I'm Mike Nasel with the first tropical video update of this 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. Obviously, 2020 was the most active hurricane season on record since records began in the Civil War era. But remember, with the current technology and satellites, we could really name more storms. We spot more tropical cyclones than we used to. But even if we didn't, it would have been a record-breaking year. We had many devastating storms. Hurricane Laura hit Louisiana as a Category 4. Hurricane Zeta hit Louisiana as a Category 3. Hurricane Delta hit Louisiana as a Category 2. You see a pattern there? It's a bad year for Louisiana last year. We have a new system in the Gulf, which is expected to strike Louisiana as a tropical storm in the next couple of days. We'll talk about that. First, let me run down this year's name list. Back in '79, the World Meteorological Organization came up with 6 name lists, excluding some of the harder letters like Q and U, and those are rotated once every 6 years. So this list was the first one used in '79, and they used it in '85, '91, '97, 2003, 2009, and 2015, and we will use it again. We've already had 2 measly tropical storms, Anna and Bill, and the next name is Claudette, so we will likely see Tropical Storm Claudette strike the Gulf Coast in the next couple of days. This list, obviously, in 1985, when it was used, we had Hurricane Elena, we had Hurricane Gloria, 1991, Hurricane Bob, 2003, Fabian and Isabel, and of course 2015 we had Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Joaquin. You could see all these names are new, but we still have some originals. Claudette was used as a tropical storm down in Texas back in '79, so decades and decades pass and we're still on some of the same names. We'll see how far we get. Hopefully we don't get past this name list like last year, okay? Let's stick around Sam and Teresa. Hopefully not that far. We'll see how it goes. Here's the current satellite of the Atlantic Basin, and you can see obviously here in the Gulf of Mexico a lot of stormy weather. That is our tropical disturbance, which is likely to become Claudette over the next 2 days. It's not there yet. However, it's expected to be within a time frame to where we now have a tropical storm warning in effect from Intracoastal City, Louisiana to the Alabama-Florida border. Now that does include Lake Pontchartrain, Lake Maurepas, and Metropolitan, New Orleans. So you guys be on the lookout for tropical storm conditions in the next 24, 36, 48 hours, as we should have a system develop somewhere in that region, but it will be lopsided and ill-defined, as most of the bad weather will be on the right side, almost more like a subtropical cyclone. Here's the latest on potential tropical cyclone 3 as of 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern from the National Hurricane Center based down there in Miami, Florida. The system was located roughly at 22.9 north, 92.4 west, winds of 30. It's moving north at 9, and again, that motion should continue through early Saturday, and then it should turn right and make landfall in the general vicinity of, say, Intracoastal City, Lafayette, Morgan City, down in this region here of the Louisiana coast. But again, you could see those tropical storm warnings extend far to the right. So again, most of this is going to be bad weather on the right-hand side, and really the biggest threat from this is not going to be wind. It doesn't look like it's going to be a hurricane, but definitely rainfall will be the big threat with this. Now, I'm looking at this visible satellite imagery, and I'll speed it up a little bit. I'm not seeing a low-level circulation yet. Maybe if I use my imagination, I see a little naked spin in there. But again, all the bad weather, even when this system develops a center, if it develops a center, is likely to be on the right-hand side. So if you're in, for example, Destin, Florida, you're going to get a lot more moisture than if you're in Texas, even if the system makes landfall much closer to Texas than Florida. See what I mean? So right now it's definitely lopsided, in no small part because of the shear. You can see the shear map. This is very unfavorable wind shear, just slicing it. The more favorable shear is to the south, so it's not in a good upper level environment at all. You can see that better here. The blues and the blacks are the more favorable, and the orange and the red, that's less favorable and higher wind shear, and we're definitely seeing a lot of wind shear over the Gulf. Nevertheless, we'll see a water rise from it, 1 to 2 feet, 2 to 3 feet, right along the Louisiana and Mississippi Gulf Coast. Obviously, you guys have been through a lot in the last year. Remember, 10 months ago, Cameron, Louisiana had a landfall of a 150-mile-per-hour borderline Category 5 hurricane and had disastrous storm surge in this area. So, I know it's nasty, but take the 1 to 2 feet over a Category 4 hurricane, okay? As far as the biggest threat, rainfall, you can see we could have 6 to 10 inches easily in areas of New Orleans, the Mississippi and Alabama coastline. This will be spreading up into the Appalachians, and there is a flood threat there, as the 3-day outlook shows. It will be worse along the Gulf Coast, but this rainfall will head up in that direction as the system makes that turn. Remember, the track will be something like that line I just drew, but the nastiness will be on the right-hand side. So even into Georgia and the Carolinas, be on the lookout about 4 days from now for some potential tropical moisture. The key messages: number one, it is expected to produce rainfall and considerable flash urban and small stream flooding starting tomorrow, Friday, continuing through the weekend. That's your weekend right now on the Gulf Coast. So it's going to be a very wet, humid, muggy, moist, rainy, gray, dreary, depressing weekend along the Louisiana coast. Sorry, guys. Number two, tropical storm conditions are expected. Again, we do expect this to get a name, and the next name will be Tropical Storm Claudette. I tracked a Hurricane Claudette in July of 2003. It's pretty nasty for Texas, so I don't think this will be a hurricane, but again, the conditions will be well to the east of the center along the Gulf Coast, Intracoastal City, Louisiana, to the Alabama-Florida border, including New Orleans. Be on the lookout for tropical storm force conditions. So we're going to watch that carefully as time goes by. In the Eastern Pacific, I did want to touch on, we have a system out there, 90% chance of development in the next 5 days, and it should generally roll along to the west-northwest, paralleling the coastline of Mexico, causing some high surf. You can see down here, it appears to be in a much better environment than our system in the Gulf, and this could be a tropical storm, and the next name will be Dolores. So this could be Dolores off the coastline of Mexico. Before I let you go, I did want to note that this is a new page on YouTube where I'm going to be uploading these videos. I'm still uploading them to the original page you've been subscribed to. However, I'm going to start to make that an archival page. So I want you to be on the lookout for this Mike's Tropical Update page on YouTube and subscribe. Feel free, and I'll work on the graphics here. I'll make them a little more third grade for you, and we'll get those video updates posted as hurricane season 2021 rolls along. So that'll do it. I'm Mike Naso. Keep an eye on the Gulf Coast. Be ready for tropical storm conditions with a likely landfall somewhere in Louisiana by Friday night, Saturday morning. I will talk to you guys next time.